Hey, DVA, Adroth here. So one of the things that I wanted to go over here real quick, because a lot of people may not remember this because it came out a while ago and they're hard to get, but the flexible specialties. So if I go to my main PvP generals, I have Electra here. You'll notice I've got one, two, three, four. I've got five specialties on here. Well, this fifth specialty is what they call the flexible specialty. So if I go here to my regular specialties, this is where I level them up with rune stones, just like I normally would. But you may see a little empty slot over here with a little plus sign in it. Okay. Uh, it'll look it'll look like that, maybe. Okay. Once you get these first three specialties to gold, you unlock that fifth specialty. And this is called the flexible specialty. Now, this is really cool because there's a bunch of different specialties you can slot in here. There's two different defensive to specialties, I believe, and then there's two different specialties for each troop type. But the one I'm going to be talking about here right now is the one that we get from SVS. And it's really useful because it's easy to get. The troop specific ones and the defense ones are, you find them in the $100 packs, and it's really a lottery on what you get. But the SVS ones, you always know what you're getting, and you can get pretty much as many of them as you want. And they can go on both the main general and the assistant general because they stack. So, first thing we have to do in order to use these flexible specialties is we go to our items, we go over here to the equipment area. Now, you'll notice I've got the little puzzle piece one here. Okay, the battle tested specialty fragments. These are the ones that we get from SVS. Okay, if I compose one, no, I don't want to compose two. It's going to ask you to do all of them at first. You don't want that. You want one at a time. Okay, so you'll compose one. It used 10 fragments and it composed a level one battle tested. Now, if you screw up and you compose too many of them, not a problem. If we hit disassemble, it immediately converts them 100% back into the pieces with no penalty. Now, remember that I did take one off my Electra. That's this level 81. I do not want to disassemble that because as far as I know, I will lose all of the rune stones that I have used on that. So just don't disassemble ones that you've put rune stones into. Just don't do that. Okay. So we're going to compose one. So I've composed one. Now I need to go find the general I want to stick it on. Go back and find Electra. This is the annoying part is you have to compose them in the items to make one to start with, but then you can't do anything else to it until you put it on your general. So here we are, and here we are. This is the one that I just created, level one battle tested. Okay, so if we look at it now, notice that it's only providing 0.5% hit points to all troops and plus 25 attack to all troops. It's not so good. Okay, so what I can do is I can go here to promotion. Okay, and I can use more fragments of it. This is why we didn't want to compose them all at once. We need the fragments to increase the level cap. What are the levels? Well, the levels are the number of times you can runestone them to increase the buffs. Okay, it goes up to level 100 when they're gold. So I would hit promote, and voila, we've now bumped it up, and I can do a maximum of up to level 20. If I hit upgrade here, okay, notice it's going to use just a little bit of rune stones for the first three types of rune stones. This is actually pretty cheap, and I could do a whole bunch here. Why not? I might as well. I will. And notice that that buff just keeps going up. Now, once it hits 10%, it jumps me to the next type of buff. And if I kept doing that one, let's see if I have enough rune stones to get this one to 10. And now it gets me into all troops attack. Once all troop attack hits 10%, then I'm going to get a debuff for ground. That's pretty sweet. So here, I'll show you the one that I've already done for Electra. So this guy's done his thing. I'm going to go here and I can swap these out at any point. There's no cooldown. There's no loss of anything. Okay. I'll put the one that I have for Electra back on. Okay. So if we take a look here at the stats, okay, this is level 81. By the way, at level 80, it starts using that fourth rune stone, the one that's really a pain in the butt to get. So I take mine up to level 80 and wait until I win the lottery or something. For those of you who spend money, maybe you have the rune stones for that. As a free to play player, it'll be a while before I get there. Anyway, so even the free to play players can use this and get a bunch more buffs. Look, this is a 10% buff for hit points, defense, and attack, and a ground troop defense and hit point debuff um, for pretty cheap. And I'm adding that to anybody that I've already done the first 3 rune stones for. And the best part is this stacks. So one day when I get my assistants rune stoned for their first 3 specialties, I can slap another one of these on my assistants and it'll stack with the one I have here on Electra, my main. And see here, now it's using all 4 of those rune stones. In the meantime, it's now all troops attack up to 500. Okay. So this is also a pretty good flexible specialty to use if you have a blister march because it provides that it provides the debuff, which will help that ranged blister march, but it'll also um, plus 500 attack for every one of those T1s. Okay. And again, I can sit here and I can swap through these. Okay. So if we take a look, okay, this is one that I wound up with early on. It's the piercing arrows. It's one of the troop specific ones. And if I come up here, I can look and say, okay, this is where it's currently at, but I can click and see, this is what it would look like if I was able to fully max it out at level 100. Okay, 20%, 20%, 50%, minus 20% for mounted troop hit points, 1,000 for attack for each troop, for each ranged troop. Okay, that's pretty good. But again, as I said, getting the fragments for this is really difficult. So for those of you who are looking for an option while you're pursuing those, I highly suggest that battle tested specialty from SVS. Cheap, easy to get. You can get lots of them. You can put them all over the place. Okay. And again, I can swap here. There's no cooldown or anything whatsoever. Now, because I use some rune stones on that blue one here. Okay. So, okay, level 40. Okay, this is one of the battle tested ones. It's at level 1. That means I just took it up to gold. I'm going to go ahead and tear him apart. And I got maybe most of my pieces back. Okay, so apparently you don't get all your pieces back when they're higher levels and you take them apart. Huh, interesting. Learn something new every day. Anyway, so let's go back to Electra since that's who I was messing with. Specialty. And I'll just use the rest of them since I've already used runestones on this one. Ah, yep. See, it didn't give me all of them back because otherwise I would have been able to take this guy all the way back up. So let's see. So that's 30. So I lost out of the maybe 110 or so that I needed to max this thing. I lost 25 when I took a gold all the way to pieces. But if you take a green, if you screw up and you do the level 1 greens, you can get them back 100%. So anyway, heads up on that. Okay. So that is a quick and dirty intro to how the flexible specialties work. And again, just a reminder that battle tested specialty from SVS. If you don't have a fully maxed out flexible battle specialty, or you're stuck, in the blue or the green area where you're only able to get just a little bit of buffs on certain things, I highly recommend bumping to this one. All right. That's it. If you have more questions, hit me up in game. We will talk to you later.